So, Coach, I want to start with a bit of a hard-hitting question. You've lived in Texas, now you're living in California, and a lot of people are asking the question from the back row, is it In-N-Out or Whataburger for you?
Ooh, it's a good call. I actually probably would go In-N-Out burger with with Whataburger fries and definitely the spicy ketchup from Whataburger. So I'm gonna go combo.
Wow, that's a good call. That's like a good
You like that?
formation, good personnel grouping. Yeah, I mean, I'm partial to In-N-Out having been from California, so I'm really glad that you gave like the burger some love. But going with subbing in the fries, I feel like that's going to make a lot of people happy. I think there's probably a high approval rating there. Because
That's
last
it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean it's best of both worlds. But the last time we spoke, Coach, you were about to jump into year 3 at USC. Looking back now with 3 seasons under your belt, what would you say you have learned the most since becoming the head coach out there?
Well, every job and every opportunity is different, and this one is probably as unique as it gets in so many ways. I mean, I think a lot of what makes USC so special is the kind of school, the academic reputation, obviously the football history, doing it in such a unique and cool environment as we have here in Los Angeles. So it's been fun. It's been fun taking it over. It's been fun. I think learning about this place, and then obviously we're doing it in such a unique kind of transformational time in college football, no matter where you're at. So it's been a fun challenge. You know, we honestly feel like we've made a lot of progress here in the last few years. I think I think we knew walking in the door that we knew this was going to take some time. And it can never happen fast enough. We're all competitors. All we've ever done is be a part of winning teams and winning programs. And so, obviously, we knew what we were undertaking here. And I feel like though with the people that we've added, both on the staff, the roster that we've really started to build, the new facility, which is under construction right outside this window and be ready here in a little over a year. The changes in administration, obviously the move to the Big Ten Conference, like I feel like we've been setting the stage and doing so many things to prepare this program to be elite again, and it's been a fun climb. Obviously, excited for kind of this next phase and this next step, but I feel like we've learned a lot about this place. We've made a lot of progress, and certainly eager and excited for this upcoming season.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned all the change, like a new conference, obviously a new place for you to live and the family and all the things going on in college football right now. With all the weird things that are happening right now in the sport, how do you adapt at a place like USC that you just mentioned brings its own challenges with Los Angeles, which I'm sure is also a benefit, but the logo and the history and all those things, how do you adapt here and how do you plan to adapt going forward when you talk about, USC and yourself the next, 3+ years?
Yeah, no, it's different because even if you're a coach, if I'd still been at Oklahoma or all of the coaches at all these different places, like with all that's changing, we've all had to adapt. Like we've all had to change, and when you pair that with again new school, new environment, new everything, it's certainly been a lot. And so I think on one hand we've been trying to over the last several years to learn this place, to learn what it means to be a USC Trojan, what it's like to live in Los Angeles. As you said, there are so many advantages, but you kind of got to learn how to navigate and how to use it. And I think we've come a long ways. And at the same time, you're trying to balance all that's changing in college football. So it's definitely been a fun challenge. I think we've had to. I think it's to us. I know it's definitely forced me to try to just take it one step at a time, and try not to get too far ahead of myself, not get too overly locked into results on this day or this game, and understand that like there is a bigger picture to all this and we're building something. And if we continue to take steps in a championship towards a championship level and in that direction constantly with the people we bring in, the things that we do, the way we develop our players, that the results that we all want will come, and they are going to come. There's no question about that. We feel that, everybody in this building feels that, and that's why we've been able to bring in the quality of people that we have, and I think why we're also bullish on the future of USC football.
You talk about people you brought in. When we spoke last year, you had just hired your new defensive staff. And this time last year, Coach, everyone had a take on the USC defense and Lincoln Riley's defense. Like, let me just ask you this, how good did that feel to put the product y'all had defensively on the football field this past year? Are you keeping receipts at all? Like, that had to feel good.
We of course we keep receipts. We're competitors, right? That's how we're all wired. The politically correct thing is to say no, but we all do, and that's part of it. So we all get our chance. I mean, we always say talking season's over at some point, and you got to go play and you got to go prove it. And that's the best part of this game. And so, yeah, excited to see the progress in year one. I mean, undoubtedly one of the most improved defenses in the country. That now the goal is to step up and become just one of the best, if not the best, defense in the country. And that's what we feel like we can build here. We always have. You have to take steps to do that. And excited that we were able to look at a part of our program and say, all right, this part is not functioning quite the way that we want it to. What do we have to change to get it right? And I think, the addition of the staff members, the scheme change, certainly changing a lot from a personnel standpoint. You saw the results, great start there in year one. And so we're trying to take a look at every part of the program that way, right? Like it's either at a championship level now or rapidly trending that way, or we got to fix it. Like it's in one of those three categories, like period. And that's how we viewed every single part of this. And I think that's why there's an excitement within these walls, because I feel like I compared to somebody the other day, is like you get to in this scenario and you feel like you're just like constantly plugging leaks, you know what I mean? And like kind of fix this, fix that. And then eventually you look up like, all right, there's not quite as many leaks, as there was before. Like a lot of these things are starting to settle, and now you feel like foundationally that some things are in place, and now you just build. And that to me is one of the most exciting parts.
Well, you're a better man than me, because I would be bookmarking tweets. I'd be replying like a year later. I would have been toxic. So you have better self control than me when it comes to the receipt side of things. But Coach, you mentioned people that you have hired onto your staff, and just recently hired a general manager in Chad Bowden. What were the filters for you when it came to hiring him for that position?
It's one of the most challenging hires that I've been a part of, just because it's. If you want to go hire a linebacker coach, you go interview the best linebacker coaches and try to hire the best guy you can. Like it's pretty clear cut. This one, because of all the ways that college football has changed, was a much more difficult hire. Because you're entering a salary cap era. So there's the appeal of people with pro experience. Although some of the people with NFL experience don't quite understand the college recruiting model and all of that, maybe as much as some of us that have been in college for a long time. And so this person's got to have a lot of great skill sets. They got to be able to handle a lot of different things. And so we interviewed more people for this position and talked to more people than any search I've ever been involved with, but it was thorough. I mean, it was 8-9 months in the making, but we felt like our patience was rewarded, felt like we got the absolute best guy in the business. And I think says a lot, for him, to take this step over to USC at this time, and a step that he didn't have to do. So another example, I think, in the belief of this program, where this is headed. Obviously, Chad wanted to come be a part of this, and fired up to get him. He's going to make a huge difference in our program. I'm excited to be working hand in hand with him. We knew it was an essential part of our future. And again, I just don't think it could have turned out any better for the Trojans.
I mean, just listening to his opening press conference, I was like, this guy means business. Like he's dialed in. So I can only imagine what that interview was like with him sitting down and talking about the future at USC. And you mentioned recruiting. I'm pretty biased, having been from Southern California. I'm like, hey, Coach, we locked down the Trinity League, Mater Dei, Orange Lutheran, Servite, San Joe. Like we're good. We don't need anybody else. How do you go about philosophically prioritizing California and Southern California while also understanding, like, hey, we're USC. This logo carries some weight nationally as well.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting balance. I mean, for us, it starts and ends with Southern California, like period. Like being great in this state, being great in our home state. This is the flagship school. This is forever and ever. The best program, the most iconic program on the West Coast. And so, but certainly taking care and being great and getting not just the high number, but the right people from the state. And certainly from Southern California is critical. It's the first thing that we do, the first thing that we think about when we talk about building our team. And then from there, you're right. It would be crazy of us to not take advantage of a national brand. I mean, this is USC. Everybody in the country knows what this means. They know what that logo means. They understand that. And so, we've been able, I think, with the combination of that, the great academics we have, all of the staff connections, from all over the country, we've certainly been able to go out and do do very well in some of these other areas, and we're going to continue to take advantage of that as well. But it starts and ends for us in Southern California. It always will, and then we're going to go get the best kind of right players from all around the country to add into that group, and we feel like that's the best recipe for USC.
I can't imagine it hurts whenever you do go recruit somewhere in the Northeast this part of the year, somewhere a little bit colder. You show them, hey, 70s and sunny here in SoCal. Just saying, like this time of year, probably not a bad place to be.
We've mentioned it before, once or twice.
I think I saw it on a graphic actually from y'all
Yeah.
over the course of the last few days. I was like, if I'm a high-profile guy, I see that, I'm like, hey, I'm at least taking a visit to USC. And once I'm there, it's probably hard to say no to that weather.
Exactly.
Coach Jaden Mayava finished the year for y'all. What was your assessment of him and just your impressions and expectations for 2025 for him?
Yeah, I was really excited with how he played. I mean, I think he came in, obviously played 4 games for us there at the end of the year. We played, 4 really good defensive teams. We were able to beat Nebraska here, able to go on the road and beat UCLA. We had a great game with Notre Dame that came right down to the wire. And, I would argue, probably played as good a game against that Notre Dame defense as anyone. I mean, that was obviously a very, very good defense. So I thought he played really well in that game. He started off slow for us in the bowl game, and then he closed just on an unreal heater. And so, I'm excited. He's a really, really talented guy. He's a very, very humble player. That I think his best football is ahead of him. I mean, I think he's going to grow and take some massive leaps. And we're excited about the room we've built around him with Hassan Longstreet, Sam Heward, some guys in there that we feel like is going to make that a very competitive room, some great depth, a good mix of skill sets. So that's an exciting quarterback room that I think's got a chance to take a big step for us this year.
Phenomenal. You have to imagine whenever you're the head coach, probably safe to say the quarterback room is going to be in good position. Coach, whenever an NFL job opens up or the NFL is a discussion at all, you're always a name that I feel like is trendy for people to throw on their hot boards or whatever. And obviously there's been no substance to that. How do you handle all that noise that inevitably comes with you being the offensive mind you are and the play caller you are as it pertains to the NFL noise that seems to always be there?
Yeah, I just try to stay focused on, the job that I have, and keep my feet, just be where my feet are. I love this place. I sacrificed a lot, me and my family, not to mention a lot of other people sacrificed a lot, obviously, for us to all be out here. I believe very much in this program, and I like I said, we gave up so much to be here, and we understand that, but that's how strong we feel about this place. And so, it's flattering. It's nice when people say that. Sure, it's not a long-term goal of mine. I love college football. I love coaching at USC. I love the job that I have. I think I have the best job in football right now, and I think we're right on the verge of doing some really, really, really cool things here at a place that's unlike any other. So yeah, it's nice of them to say, but I'm a Trojan.
Yeah, Coach, selfishly, we love you being in college football, just for the record there. And again, totally selfish, but we love watching you guys get after every Saturday. Last question for you. Appreciate all your time. What's next for y'all in 2025? Like, when you look to next season, what are the not the goals necessarily, but the expectations you have for this team and boxes you want to have checked?
Well, I think the easy thing for us, I've kind of talked about this some with our staff and even our current team, is you look back at like our previous season, say, all right, you got to win more close games, right? We were one of the few teams in the country that had to lead in the fourth quarter of virtually every single game that we played, every game but one. To me, that's not the right way to approach it. Like, for me, it's like we just have to continue to take steps. Like, we made some obvious progress in some major areas. We played a very challenging schedule. We had some games that went right down to the wire, a lot of them, all right, that could have gone either direction. But you just got to keep taking steps, because as you do that, all of a sudden, some of those close games, aren't as close anymore. All of a sudden, you're separating at some of these games. You're winning more of those close games. And I don't see any area of our program, any area of our football team where I say, all right, that's just not at all good enough, like not even close. Like we're making progress. We just got to keep going, and that is we've got to stay the course. And that's the challenges here are, you're at a marquee program, you're at a place that everybody watches, everybody pays attention to, everybody has an opinion on, and you either let that creep in or you just continue your climb. And if we do that, then all the results that we want, our fan base. I mean, everybody across college football, I think, would agree that USC being really good in college football is important, and we'll get there, but we've got to stay the course. And so I'm excited for this team. I think we've got a chance to take a jump on all sides of the ball. I love the coaching staff that we've put together. I love the personnel staff that we put together. I just think a lot of great things are in place. So I can't wait for spring ball. Excited to be back on the grass with these guys.
Well, Coach, we're excited to watch. I'll get after it. And we're very, very excited to see the pairing of In-N-Out and Whataburger here in the future and get that combo in reality. So thanks so much for your time.
Done. Absolutely, brother.